Hello, visionary entrepreneurs, life changers. How are you? Today, it's a surprise for you. I have not started my passion interview for quite a while, but I'm super excited today. I'm with Stefan. Your last name, please pronounce for me. Ciancio. Okay, Stefan Ciancio. I apologize for my pronunciation, but super happy we're now in Astoria, a nice neighborhood at Stefan's beautiful new apartment. Let me quickly show. Say hello.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I will highlight this. Congratulations, got a very nice apartment in Astoria of Queens, New York. We just had a wonderful afternoon tea or coffee time, and we did some very interesting marketing research. We just run some ideas talking about like masterminding in this in the local area of New York City, and hopefully, if you are a New York entrepreneur and who are looking for great community and also great group to do the masterminding, to support each other through your entrepreneurship and grow together, welcome to contact us, okay? But today, the main purpose is about our passion interview. I know you are now a little bit maybe sleepy after all the drinks and also the afternoon. This is now late afternoon, and normally typical people's energy is a little bit down, a little bit like maybe falling to sleep. But here today the topic is about passion. So I hope this one will wake yourself up as well. How long time have you not thought about your passion anymore? I know like every day you've been engaging in your business every day.
Yeah.
Do you still sometimes recall when did you start this business?
Yeah, so I started, I've been working for myself since 2015.
Sorry, I have to maybe increase a little bit of volume.
Oh, yeah.
For this distance to catch.
So I've been working for myself since 2015.
Wow.
And I had various businesses in that time.
Mm-hmm.
But, I have always been passionate about time and money freedom. So being able to work from anywhere, work on your terms, you're the boss of yourself, grow the projects that you're actually interested in growing. Wow. So this I'm very passionate about. And when I left my job, I was doing a different type of business. I was doing... I was selling courses, and at the time, it was going really well.
What kind of courses?
Pinterest marketing.
Pinterest marketing, wow. That's very interesting, actually. I'm glad you started as a salesperson.
Yeah.
That make your later part of entrepreneurship much easier, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about that. So can you share a little bit about your current business?
So yeah, the current business is a software called Webinar Kit that I have with my co-founder Phil, and basically we help people grow their businesses by running automated and live webinars.
Automated live webinars. So what caused you to think of from like a salesperson selling specific courses and to now the software? What's the journey in between?
So it's been interesting because, I used webinars to sell my courses, my coaching program, and my agency. I had a Pinterest course that started off as just a course. And then I added in a coaching program and an agency service.
Wow.
And then at the end of all of that, webinars were the thing that I used to sell all that stuff. And it was pretty funny. My friend from high school, Phil, he came to me and was like, listen, he's like, we have an opportunity here in the webinar space. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, it seems like there's a need for a webinar sales software.
Yes.
Because there were some out there, but they were missing things or they were complicated. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely an opportunity here to create something that we can help people run better automated webinars. It started off as just an automated software.
Wow.
And more or less, we started Webinar Kit on the side, and basically eventually we created it, and it became so successful initially that I ended up shutting down my course, consulting, and agency service in Pinterest to focus entirely on the software. That was almost 2 years ago now that I did that.
Okay, so see here, Stefan have this initial interest or the passion is really just become your own boss. Have the financial and time freedom. That's basically the passion, right?
Yeah.
That's wonderful, and of course you get into entrepreneurship. But then your entrepreneurship just shifted. Initially focus on this thing, but then you see new opportunities. The things you've been doing and see let's say, entrepreneurship is to find the gap or find the problem in the market because the existing webinar solutions are not good enough. You were users, you were not satisfied, then you met the right person and think about we may develop some better solution, right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly a little bit like, because I've been in a ClickFunnels community. Russell Brunson, he used to sell potato gun. Remember? Selling potato guns and made some sales. He also started as like marketer and also salesperson. And then, because they've been using quite some like original funnel applications, then they did not find it's not good enough. Or maybe they say it's so much used. Then they found opportunity, just similar to your journey. They found opportunity, they say, oh, we can definitely make this better, this platform better. So he's working with his friend, Chad, and they developed ClickFunnels. Now it's very popular. And of course, like there's always like competitors. And now in your journey, I'm wondering, what was your, how many years from 2000, you said 8, around 2008, right?
2015.
Oh, 15, sorry. It's like 7-8 years now.
Yeah.
But you grow very quickly.
Yeah.
But what's the biggest challenge so far from your entrepreneurship journey?
I think a big thing I noticed for myself is, failure to stay the course sometimes. I think we all get a little bit discouraged if results aren't going exactly how we hoped in the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that I've learned and become more disciplined with is staying the course and, especially having that internet marketing kind of personality that I have. I always wanting to expand and I need more products, I need more funnels, I need to launch something here. And that's actually most of the time not the solution. The solution is usually to collapse and bring things together as opposed to spreading them apart. So for example, with Webinar Kit, at one point I expanded into a coaching program and a done for you webinar service. Mm-hmm. And by doing so, it actually distracted me from my core software product. Mm-hmm. So when I actually stopped doing those things, yes, you might make a little bit less money initially, but in the long run, you're focusing on the thing that's doing the most of the growth for you. And by doing that, we are setting ourselves up to be on a much bigger path with the software. And that's kind of where we're at now. We're just focusing on taking that software to the next level. And, I collapsed everything inward, simplified, which I think is something that is counterintuitive to what most marketers do, because they think, oh, more products, more money. But a lot of times if you're building something great and you're trying to build a product for the long run, simplifying is actually how you get sustainability. Wow,
I'm so happy that you mentioned about this, because through my 14 years of a coaching journey, I also met quite some great mentors like Dean Grosassi, who is a partner with Tony Robbins, and also some other earlier, when I was with joint venture, inner circle kind of mentors. They all had over at least dozens of years. Some of them are over 15 or 20 years of entrepreneurship. Then they realized that they want to simplify it. Like Dean Grosassi mentioned, keep doing what you are good at instead of just expanding. So many entrepreneurs here, this is a good lesson also to share with you. Me too, actually, sometimes I also struggle with this for our entrepreneurs who are very creative. We're excited, right? And we always want to create more things to provide and try this and try that. But eventually found maybe simpler is better. And especially from all these kind of ideas, how you could simplify and find that right niche, right? We're talking about something like a niche related information. And are you do you think now you found your niche?
I think we have our niche. I think we have our product market fit. We have over 12,000 customers at this point, and I think now it's just about tripling down on what's working and just serving more of the types of people that are already using our software and already love it.
It's really finding your core product, right? That solves people's biggest issue.
Yeah.
And before you really even think about to expand to other things.
Yeah.
I remember Dean Grosassi, once in his interview, he said both him and also Tony Robbins had over 45 years of entrepreneurship and also mentoring experience. Dean Grosassi around 25 years. So together they have 70 years of experience. And he said, many people asked him this question. Adam and I was interviewing him. Said many people said, "Oh, can I have multiple income streams? So have different business, let's say business streams." And Dean said both he and also Tony Robbins till he was after almost when he was almost 48. He started around 19 till 48. That's almost like over 28 years, right? He has been focusing on his like coaching business and develop till he's super successful before he think about other business opportunities or other products. And now he has over 100, maybe 20 companies. But initially he only focused on his coaching part and his live event seminars. So now I feel like you are really like only 8 years in the business. You already get to that simplification stage. That's very smart. All right, we're continuing. Great. So thank you for sharing your early journey of your entrepreneurship. And what's the best like values you feel like, or maybe the best learning from your journey so far, from your entrepreneurship?
I think that one of the biggest takeaways for me is that, well, it kind of ties into what we talked about a little bit earlier, is like, business is simple. The bigger problem that you solve, the more money that you can make. And I think the key is knowing how to apply that with getting in front of the right people, putting the right messaging in front of them, and actually supplying that simple solution. And I think that it's actually a lot of work and a lot of thought to go into simplifying, because it sounds simple, but like on the surface, we are still in the process of simplifying our product and simplifying our messaging to attract a broader market. And I think that that process of simplification is actually complex. Work. It takes complex thought and work to actually simplify.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
I just found even with a message, sometimes, for example, you get a creativity, you write a long message, and then it's a time for you to simplify it, that actually take more thoughts to make it simpler. Yeah. So it's great, like you guys take that complex kind of work, like back the same of work, but you put the simplicity and application to your customers. So that's actually a great contribution. And I think now this world is more and more developing fast.
Yeah.
Very fast, and everybody has to cope with more like efficiency, everything. And you are in a software company. Do you ever have that kind of like pressure, or everything's developing so fast? It's a little bit difficult, challenging to catch up. Ever have that?
It's a consideration for sure. We think about that a lot. I think the key is just be really good at what you're good at. And, the thing is, in our industry, especially the webinar world, people are always going to need to connect. And if anything, with the world transitioning more towards automation and lack of human connection, providing a solution for people to connect, if anything, will probably be in more demand. So, I think that as long as we keep focusing on what we're doing best, there's always going to be a need for people to connect through webinars, meetings, and as well as automation. So I think we're kind of going in the best two directions, which is more automation and more personal connection. So if you look at it from that angle, I think the future is quite bright.
Beautiful. I love that you mentioned about this too, right? It's like especially the connection part. I know that personally you have this interest to connect with more people to serve them.
Yeah. So
can you share a little bit about your efforts and what's your vision for the future for this webinar kit to go?
Well, yeah, I think that we really just want to provide a solution for people to connect with their audience, connect with their colleagues, and automate that connection as well through automated webinars. But, I think that in a world that is becoming increasingly disconnected, having a solution that connects people is always a good thing.
Can you give us, for example, you have many customers so far, right? Do you have some like a specific one, maybe your favorite, like a brief story, say how your webinar kit really changed their business or benefited their community?
Yeah, so I had a client named Trevor who was using Webinar Kit. And Trevor, he helps people get credit card miles through basically applying for credit cards and accumulating a ton of points that then they can use to travel business class for nearly free.
Wow.
So he had a program where he helped people do this, and he was doing okay. He had an Instagram following. He was making sales here and there, but he wasn't consistently scaling up. And he had a very small audience. He didn't have no audience. He did have a small audience, but it was small. And I said to him, I'm like, listen, if you put a webinar in front of this audience, you're going to have more sales coming through the door than you ever know what to do with.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him our webinar template, which is now something we give to all our users. Mm-hmm. I said, fill in this template and simply invite your audience to the webinar.
Yeah.
And literally, he exploded. Like, his first webinar that he ran, he got over $60,000 in new clients off of the webinar, and people who watched the replay got even more sales. So he was messaging me saying he's backed up on delivery, so then he had to go and find a team that he could hire to automate because he couldn't do the fulfillment.
Yeah, and too many clients.
Yeah, too many
that
clients.
is expected.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, and that's the power of what we do. He hosted everything right on our platform. And we gave him the tools, we gave him the steps, and he just executed. So anyone who already, and I notice I'm especially passionate about serving people who do have an audience that don't know how to properly monetize that audience. Because you could have an audience of 1,000 people and think, oh, this audience doesn't have any money in it. But if you invite 1,000 people to a webinar and you get 50 people to show up, you make a ton of money from those 50 people. Yeah. Because the webinar provides such a personal connection here. It's not a sales page, it's not an email. It's, you have a real shot at generating a lot of revenue there.
And actually, this webinar is totally based on this kind of philosophies like education-based marketing or like value contribution marketing. Right? You provide this training, education, and really share people what's the solution. And then you provide the offer and invite people to the next step. It's such kind of a, let's say, organic way to actually connect with your audience and customers, right?
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. So did you ever, of course, you are doing this business, have you used your platform yourself, right, to build up your community?
Yeah, we run webinars to our users on WebinarKit. We've run automated webinars, live webinars. And we use the tool ourselves, and there's plenty of times where I'm using the tool and I'll say to Phil, I'm like, I want this feature, I want that feature, and so we can get it coded in. And essentially that's the general idea is, I'm using the actual tool myself. I was a marketer before WebinarKit using webinars, so I know what I need, and if I need it, there's a good chance that a lot of our other users are going to need it.
That's wonderful. So you really, you are the first user.
Yeah.
First clients of your own products, right?
Yeah.
You know the in and out and give the timely feedback to make it better.
Yeah.
Cool. So through your whole, let's say, entrepreneurship, we talked about today's topic is about passion. If you still think about the passion, where stages you are, like how do you evaluate through all these years, 8 years, your passion? Did it like keep going and even increase, or it's like sometimes you may need some like plateau? Or like the fire or the fuel get down, and do you have such a time first?
So there are periods where things are going really well, and there are periods where things are going maybe not so well. And I think that's all part of the journey of entrepreneurship, and kind of just seeing that the journey is for the long term, and there's going to be short-term periods that are great, and there's going to be short-term periods that are not so great. And whenever I have a period that seems like things are not going so great, I try to remember the big picture, and that you have to always be looking forward. It can't be perfect all the time every time. There's going to be, what goes up must come down. So eventually something that's going really well, you're going to have a pullback. And every time we reach a new height with our software, there's always some sort of pullback on the way back.
So you said the big picture, is that like your big vision or your dream that is keep you going?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the company we're working on now, WebinarKit, I am very passionate about growing it. I see massive potential for it. And, the next few years at least are where we really want to take this thing as high as it could go. And that's my plan, and that's what I'm focused on, is growing WebinarKit. And, that's what definitely drives me these days in my professional world.
Cool. So for some people who are still like in the early entrepreneurship, this may be last question, still in the early entrepreneurship, still trying to figure out things, and maybe have many like trials, what's your suggestion to them?
Well, there's a lot of steps to being successful, but I think at the core of it is, when you're going out there, you need to find something that, I don't know that I always believe that what you're doing needs to be something that you're so passionate about. I think if what you're doing drives you to live the life that you want to live, I think that is passion enough. Like, I like webinars a lot. I think I'm more passionate about helping people maximize their potential, and webinars can be the vehicle to help people do that. So I think finding something that fits into your lifestyle, that kind of, maybe it's something you're passionate about, or maybe it's something that you're really good at, but it enables you to do the things that you want to do and live the life that you're looking to live. I think that's the most important piece. So I think for me, I think passion comes from the underlying piece of what is this going to enable me to do, enable other people to do as well.
That's a great picture, like how you can enable it to help other people. So actually the media or the tool could be flexible. It's just like the way you get to where you want to live. It's like you can choose maybe different ways, but choose at least what you're passionate about, right? You have the passion using this, and you see the trend, and you are taking more engage into it. But in the future, maybe you try different tools, but still focusing on helping people, enabling them, right? So what's the ultimate vision for yourself? Become what kind of person, ultimately? I'm just wondering.
I think that I'm the type of person that values time and money freedom. So I think that if Webinar Kit is a solution for me to grow, and there's obviously a lot of lessons learned, a lot of personal growth that comes along this journey. But I would like to just be the type of person that focuses on building great things, and through doing so, I'm able to live a life more on my terms. And I think that's exactly what I'm doing, and I just want to do more of that.
Wow, cool. So thank you so much, Stefan. And I feel like today, at least everybody knows about your webinar kit, and this is just one tool. So enabling you to help other people at the same time fulfill your dream of time and financial freedom, right? And this is a nice community and also apartment you are living in. So I definitely wish you were keeping us updated, and we look forward to learning more about your passion journey and also your entrepreneur journey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Say bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Hope you will figure out what is your passion and keep in our community, and let's empower each other. Okay? Bye.